Hi everyone, hope you hear and see everything fine here. I made this tutorial to show you a little bit my working material and to show you some suggestions. I mean, it's never easy because most of you are gonna be in different places of the world, most likely, and there are some brands that you can't find in different places, and maybe you find others that are better. So my general suggestion for watercolor paper is that at least it has to be 200 grams. This means that it's thick enough and that we can paint without having to worry that we're going to make a hole, basically, because if we use too much water, that can get very messy and paper gets very wavy. That's bad. So lots of options here. As you can see, this is 300 grams. Let me show you a little bit each of them. These two first options that I selected here have many. I'll show you my shelf later full of these. This is from November 2017, obviously. This is by Canson. I think you can see it there. Canson is a good brand to begin with. It's not too expensive, and the paper, look, I made these trees a long time ago. You can see the texture of the paper. That's nice. Let's say it's an easygoing paper. It's economic because Canson has different lines. That's the thing, like different models of a car. Well, they have different lines. So they have a student line always. You will recognize it because it's obviously cheaper. And it works just fine. It just means that sometimes it's not the best and it's not gonna last forever, but to begin with, and I keep using them a lot. It's a good suggestion to have a paper that you don't feel too pressure to do something good on it. It's of course, the more expensive it is, you're gonna get more and more worried that you're gonna ruin it. So this is a notebook for me that I can just do whatever I want on it, and I don't care if it goes wrong. So these two are notebook versions. That means sketchbooks. That means that you keep them and you can travel with them. I also really like the size. This is a posher version. It's a little bit more expensive, hahne mühle, but the paper is very good. Let me see what I marked here. Yeah, this I made 2018. This paper is also very good. It's just more expensive and it's slightly better finish. It has a very nice cotton amount of cotton. And I mean, the thing is that here it never says like here that you have all the information, so I kind of forgot, but I think that must be 300 grams, and as I said, it's very practical. These are the notebooks option. Of course, here you can take the paper out. I did it a lot, and in this one you can't. To start, this is always a good option, but to start, maybe you can get one of these huge things. Canson, again, 200 grams. It means that it's obviously thinner than the 300 grams that I had here, but it's very good to begin with, and it's paper that I just like eat. Like I just take it out and paint and paint and paint. It's a lot. This was like 20 euros and it's 100 pages, which is a lot. I even cut them in half because I feel it's a lot more comfortable. So this says cold press. That means that you can see the texture. Well, as they made it very well here. This is the texture you will get if you don't see it here clear enough. And because we work with a lot of wet on wet, I always recommend taking the pages out and working on them and then grabbing the next one. Because if you start painting here and then you decide to take it out after you paint it, you're gonna make a mess. The water is gonna flow and like drip all over. So I would recommend something like this, like a block, cheap and still good quality. This Canson, I don't even remember what it is here. Look, birds. This is also by Canson. Sometimes you have to be careful because there are some of these. This is very nice, the texture. But there are some of these that have lines instead of this texture that is more like little mountains. And that's not good. But this is also an economic shadow. I took the price off. It's an economic paper and very good also. So another Canson version, 300 grams. This paper I really like. It's just like a little bit better than the big one because it's thicker and it will be less wavy, less will support water better. That's it. So that's another one that I really like. I use it for a book I did. These arches, how is it? Because it's French anyways. It's 100% cotton. This is a big warning. The rest, none of them said 100% cotton. That means that it's gonna absorb a lot more. Imagine your cotton t-shirt as if you were painting on that. It absorbs the water and the color, and that's it. Basically, you don't have a lot of time to play with stains or effects. So this is more like a profi paper, I would say. And also, this is important. Where does it say? Here, hot press. Hot press, it actually translates to satin, satiné, satinado. Means that it's kind of shiny. It's gonna be very plain. Imagine you're looking at a plasticky end, not this texture that you can feel. It's this here, you can feel the paper. The other one is just like a complete, like plain finished. That's not bad. The colors look amazing. That's why this paper is a lot more expensive. But it's a lot more complicated. Just have that in mind. Hahne, mühle, their papers are amazing. 300 grams, that's already good. What else? This one is just like the other one. Is satin, so kind of shiny, very even texture. It's a little bit more complicated. Yeah, here it says satiniert. I wrote here very big that you can't erase pencil, just to remember. We'll get on that later. And this is kind of a surprise. That was my mother's-in-law. I think it says even D-Marks. Yeah, D-Marks. So it's like very old German paper. It's very good. Just if you happen to have, I started here something. If you happen to have these brands around, also by some coincidence, some grandmother or aunt, someone's aunt in Germany. It's, I'm trying to find 200 grams. Anyways, watercolor pad, doesn't say much. The rest you can actually mate, so yeah. But yeah, look at the texture. I think you can see it there. It's a very nice texture. I mean, with watercolors, we're gonna leave a lot of empty space, a lot of white. So you want the texture to help you. So it's nice if it has some of these little mountains, let's say. This paper doesn't help you much. It's like an office paper. It's just plain white. So nothing, just so you have that in mind and you can choose. As I said, I recommend something from Canson. At least 200 grams is fine. If you find 300 grams, even better. So those are the paper recommendations, and yeah, that's it. I'll see you soon. Hi. Hi there. So today there are a couple of things that I want to show you about my watercolors and about watercolors options. So small one first. This is Winsor Newton, or was Winsor Newton, because as you can see there are some of the pans that I added, so it's not really their colors. Those I bought separately, but so you get an idea, this is a very good beginner's kit. It has 12 colors, and it comes with this little brush. Look how adorable. Ta-da-da. Traveling brush. You paint with it, and then you have to be careful not to ruin it. I already did. You put it away, and that's it. Of course, when you run out of these colors, you can just remove them and get others. That is the idea. So, good traveling kit. This was like 12 euros. This here in Berlin. Very practical and good quality to begin with. It's like, let's say, a medium price. Winsor Newton has also like different lines, so there is more professional ones that are more expensive, but one of these must cost around 3 euros each of these little pans. So that's an option. These are the ones I use every day. That's why they are so dirty. Most of them have holes. I have to buy new ones. I just try to use them till the very last, but yeah, there are some that are completely empty already. You can see that I like blues. All these are blues and greens. The idea is that you can make this. I bought a part. This brand is nothing, it's just a box. And I made my own collection of colors, and every now and then I change them, and I think, okay, I'm not using this blue so much, I put it away and I just replace it with other colors that I like. So these are bigger. This is again a mix of many different brands. These I think are some Petersburgs, I guess. Let's see. Or yeah, where am I here? St. Petersburg. They are very good, actually. I like them. There are some that I made myself because I took a workshop on how to make your own watercolors, and these I made myself, and this one and this one. It's nice to learn. I mean, I'm not gonna take the time to make all my own watercolors, but it was nice to know how they are made at least. These colors, I think this one and this one are Schmincke. This is, I basically select the brand based on the colors that I like. I'm not, no, this is, yeah, Schmincke. It's not that I'm a super fan of one particular brand. I just choose because of the colors I like. And of course I try them. If they are giving me a hard time, I don't buy them again. But if I like the color, I just go for that color of that specific brand. These are bigger. Schmincke are a lot more expensive, but the color is a lot thicker, which means that it's gonna last a lot more. You just put like 1 drop of water here, or I mean a lot of water here, and just take 1 drop of color. That's like the proportion, because it's very intense. Sometimes it's even too intense. So what I do, you're gonna see that later anyways, I put a lot of water in one of these things and 1 little drop of color just to water it down, because it can be very intense. So that's it. Here there is a mix of Winsor Newton, a mix of St. Petersburg, Schmincke, and then the ones I did. I'm probably forgetting something. Another good idea that I learned is that I always keep this empty, so I have a backup here for the black and for the brown. I have these empty adorable tins, and I use them sometimes just to keep colors that they are I can't take more color out of them, but I don't want to let them go, so I keep them as some sort of backup, I guess. But what you can do with these tiny boxes is to make already your palette. Like you like this green and this lighter green, a blue and a yellow. are like 5 or 6 of them, and you put them here and just use these. Sometimes it's easier to have less to choose from, and it makes your palette and therefore your watercolor paintings much more interesting, because the colors are more limited. Sometimes for some people, having all of these options, it's a little bit more overwhelming. So where should I start? But anyways, that's up to you. Just wanted to show you this other option. And I love these. I don't know what they are from. So that's that. And let me show you some brushes. Again, I'm not a fan of one particular brand. So, well, this happened to be Da Vinci, I think. Funny. But I have a big mix of different things. So Da Vinci here, it's from Germany actually. Very creative name. They are very good. They last a lot. It's all synthetic hair. About the hair, I don't have much to say because I'm not a specialist and I don't use natural hair or nothing too fancy. Basically, I would recommend having a variety of numbers. So some of them I already erased, but you see 0, 1 and 4 is a lot bigger, so that makes sense. But each brand has their own numbers. It's not that a 4 for whatever other brand is going to be the same size as a 4 for Da Vinci. So just make sure you have, like, maybe this is like super tiny, but a small one, a medium one, and a bigger one. That would be fine. Of course, when we make backgrounds, for example, you will want an even bigger one because it's just easier to cover more surface with bigger ones. But Da Vinci is a good brand recommendation. This is called a liner. I water it there. Ta-da. It's to make very long lines. It's very good for watercolors because in all this length the brush holds very good the water, and you make very long lines and they don't break. You get a very nice clear long line. This is very good also for details, just like this one. It's a little bit more problematic to handle because it's so long that you never know if you're touching where you want to touch or not. Imagine you want to do 2 tiny eyes. It's like more complicated. With this one, you feel it because it's a lot shorter. But anyways, 2 very thin options, one for lines, one for tiny details. This is more or less the same. I don't know why I'm holding this one. This one is more or less the same, but thicker. It's also a liner. It's very nice hair. And then I just have a variety of them. What I heard recently, that is very true, I love these things, is that you should make your own little space with these little jars or glasses or whatever that you really like, because it's more likely that you are, I don't know, that you're gonna use them if you have them displaying something pretty. So some flat brushes, also important for when we do skies. Here I have another one. And one, I show you some others that are very pretty. Look, I love this cup, cat cup. So as you can see, I have a lot. This must be Da Vinci also, yeah. I also have lots of cheap brushes. I also teach kids, so sometimes I use these ones because they can destroy them and I don't feel so bad. They are not bad. You're gonna find this probably online a lot. That is like 20 brushes set, and it's like all these brushes in different sizes. They are very cheap. The thing is that cheap doesn't last long. We all know that, right? So it's good to have them as a backup, especially if you need different lengths and stuff. But yeah, this is very bad quality. Let me see if I have one that already broke. It just means that I'm checking while I'm talking. Well, this is another brand, but you see this cover of the wood is very cheap, so it starts peeling off after a lot of water. So yeah, just have that in mind. Of course, they're not gonna last the same as a wood brush. Anyways, the Da Vinci ones, there was a set of 4 different sizes. It actually says hobby, so if you go for these, it comes in a little plastic thing. It's 4 brushes, were like 10 euros, so that's super good. Otherwise, maybe you pay 5 or 6 for one good one. So that about the brushes. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, keep them together in a pretty place where you can easily find them. And last couple of things is white stuff. We use a lot of white details for watercolors because when we work with darker backgrounds, and we imagine you want to do the stars, for example, you want to use white, you can white for watercolors doesn't work for that really, because it's not thick enough. So you need a pen like this. Posca are very good. You can also use a thin brush and acrylic. Obviously sometimes white pencil also works, so just as a couple of extra tools. Or the toothbrush is very good for stars, for example. What else? I think that's it. Obviously pencil and eraser, always handy. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Hope you enjoy the little tour through my material. Thank you for watching.